Hey there, party poopers. Start pooping right now. This is the only video you need to watch while you poop because I am your poop coach. I'm going to guide you on your bowel movement to make sure that you don't take a long dump because that would be bad for your health. We don't want hemorrhoids. Welcome to my channel, Shizzles and Giggles, where I guide you on your poop taking journey. At the same time, I try to educate and entertain you. What has been happening these past few days? A lot. Today is Friday, April 4th, 2025, and just 2 days ago, Trump announced his tariffs, and in the economic world, global economics, it has been a wild roller coaster ride. Actually, it's just been downfall. Today, stocks crashed. Well, not crashed, stocks declined. Crashed, I would say, is 20% or more. Whereas like correction is 10% or more. So right now, the S&P 500 is down about 5%. Dow Jones is down about 4%, a little more than that. NASDAQ is also down about 5%. So, but those are huge numbers. I mean, I believe the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ will pause, at least momentarily, trading if it falls below 7%. So we're at 5. We'll see what happens. But there's a couple of reasons for this. The biggest reason is probably because China announced retaliatory tariffs. Another small reason is that US unemployment ticked up to 4.2 and it was 4.1% that was expected. So it's a little bit higher than expected. And going back to the China tariffs though, so 34% on all US goods that are exported outside of the US and imported into China. So Trump says that his tariffs are reciprocal, but I don't know if that's the case. Anyway, at this time, we are at or near the 2-minute mark. So if you haven't made progress on your poop taking, precautionarily wipe your butt and get up and move on with your day. If you are making progress, if your turtle head has popped out, let's continue. So I question whether these reciprocal tariffs are really reciprocal. On Wednesday, 2 days ago, Trump pulled up a poster. You can look this up online with a bunch of numbers. And then next to the column of numbers, he stated what the US was going to impose. And so for China, there was like a 10% baseline plus 34%. And that's on top of the additional 25% on automobiles and metals that are imported into the US. So anyway, so China hits back with 34%. So, but if you look at the numbers, it was something like, and the White House released this seemingly complicated formula, but in reality, that formula was just the trade deficit divided by the trade deficit between the US, the trade deficit for the US with a particular country divided by the goods imported from that country divided by 2. So it's not that complicated. Anyway, so it makes you think if China is imposing its own retaliatory tariff of 34%, then are these tariffs reciprocal to begin with? Because the idea is, I thought it was that other countries had already imposed a high tariff on us, and then Trump was trying to just match it. But now it seems like that Trump's tariffs were first, and then China is trying to match it. So yeah, so I question whether Trump's reciprocal taxes are actually reciprocal. Or the alternative, which I believe is more likely, is that he actually initiated this trade war. So I do have a lot of theories. I said this in my last video, but I want to say it again. I feel like Trump wants to crash the stock market so that him and his rich friends could buy the dip. And then secondly, separate but related is the economy. The stock market and the economy are separate but related. Secondly, he wants to force us into a recession right now because That way he could blame it on the previous administration. And then later on in maybe 27, 28, when elections are almost coming up, then that's when the economy will recover and he could claim all the credit for that. But human memories are short. So yeah, so he might do that and then gain some steam for the Republican Party. And at this time, we've passed the 2-minute mark, the 5-minute mark. So please stop pooping, wipe your butt, flush, and move on with your day. Oh yeah, one more thing. The other day I said that the Tesla board asked Elon Musk to step down. I was fooled. That article was an April Fool's joke. Anyway, take care, poop heads. Till next time.